Check. No, no. Is this mic going? Hello. Oh wait. Kind of get this to go live.
Are you ready to see
Oh
your brand?
Okay. Hello, hello, everybody. We're just doing a quick check here. Okay, great. So that's good. All right. So we are just doing another Black Friday live stream. If anybody needs some quick advice as to what Black Friday deals they should get this Black Friday, then we can just go ahead and talk about them in the chat. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I'm a little not hungover. I went to the gym this morning, just a little tired. Like I was actually up pretty late yesterday. Well, like the night before, I was out with a few buddies, and then I got home, slept for like 3 hours. Then I had to like do a little bit of cooking, and then I had to be with the family. But I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. But right now we just go ahead and start talking about any of these Black Friday deals. If you want any advice, something that we've been definitely talking about with these past live streams is I want as many people as possible to take advantage of the Sony 1000 XM4 sale, because the Sony 1000 XM4s, they're currently on sale for $200. Hold on, let me just add that to the chat. They're currently on sale for $200, and even though they're 4 years old now, 1000 XM4s definitely still hold up when you compare them to a lot of other ANC headphones on the market right now, specifically because they have those atmospheric pressure sensors in them. So when you're at cruising altitude, if you calibrate your headphones, they're going to block out noticeably a lot more noise than like your newer headphones, like the Bose QC Ultra, Bose QCs, AirPod Max. So definitely, I do want everybody to take advantage of them while they're still here, because I do feel that once the Sony 1000 XM6s come out, the 1000 XM4s are probably going to get retired. And like personally, I prefer the 1000 XM4 body over the 1000 XM6s, or I mean the 1000 XM5s, because these have a fully collapsible design. So that's going to mean a few things. First off, when it comes to just straight up traveling, you're gonna have a smaller case. Where is it? Here it is. It's just that I have like a pile of headphones here right now, because we've just been doing these live streams to just help people with like their decision onto like, okay, Black Friday is here, let's actually buy something. So with the 1000 XM4s, since they have a collapsible design, they do have a smaller case to them. Whereas with the 1000 XM5s, since they're lay flat, these do have a larger case of them. Specifically, this case has a larger footprint than the XM4s. So just from like a practicality standpoint, if you plan on traveling with your headphones, then you do want to go with the XM4s because they have that smaller case. But also, I do prefer the XM4s because these ear cups are more spacious than the XM5s. So if your ears stick out a little bit more, if you have larger ears, then you might want to go with the XM4s over the XM5s, because these do have a more shallow ear cup. And so I mean, like these have a good diameter to them, but since they're shallow compared to the XM4s, they can push down on your ears, and this can get a little uncomfortable after a while. So comfort-wise, I do prefer the XM4s. Now, when it comes to actual sound quality, the XM5s do sound better. These have better instrument separation than the XM4s, but the XM4s actually have more kick in their bass. But like I've tried, basically drilling this into everybody's heads for like the last week, because we've been doing these live streams since Monday. We did one on Tuesday. We're doing one today. Since the XM4s have those atmospheric pressure sensor in them, they're gonna block out a lot more noise than the Bose QC Ultras, Bose QCs, AirPod Max, and Heiser Momentum 4s. And we have done those tests so you can actually watch those videos if you want. Saucy, what's up? Sven Bor, Sven? All right, so Sven right now is asking, is it worth getting the 710 or the Party Box Ultimate? Now, right now, JBL is really pushing their party boxes, and this is like another deal that we've been talking about this whole week. Oh no, my tab's closed. No, they're not. Okay, so just so that we can get like a point of reference, the JBL Party Box Ultimate, that thing retails for $1,800, but after taxes, after shipping, that thing is gonna cost you ultimately like $2,000. Now, JBL has the Party Box Ultimate on sale for $1,000 even. For $1,000, if you're considering the Party Box Ultimate, the main question that you have to ask yourself is, do I have enough room for this speaker? Because the Party Box Ultimate is insane. Whereas with the Party Box 710, the Party Box 710 is currently on sale for, let me just double check, just to be double correct, it's on sale for $550. And it usually has a retail price of $800. Now, the Party Box Ultimate, that guy came out a year ago. Party Box 710, that is an older speaker, and personally, I would not be surprised if we see a Party Box 720 get announced at CES 2025. So at $550 right now, the Party Box 710 is great. Now, the main performance difference between the 710 and the Ultimate is, obviously, the Ultimate, since it's just larger, it's gonna get louder and it's gonna have more bass. But also, with the Ultimate, it does have an extra pair of mid-range drivers, because with the Ultimate you have your dual tweeters, you have the dual mid-range drivers, and you have your dual woofers. Whereas with the Party Box 710, you have your dual woofers and you have your dual tweeters, just like with the Party Box 320, the 310, the 120, 110, and so on. So with the Ultimate, not only is it going to get louder and you're going to have more bass, but you're going to have better instrument separation in those mids. So that's nice. And personally, since I already said, I am expecting the Party Box 720 to get announced at CES 2025 in a few weeks. I think that what the 720 is going to have is probably going to have a pair of mid-range drivers like the Ultimate, but it's going to be smaller, and they're probably going to redesign the light feature to make it look more similar to the Ultimate, and maybe they're also going to add a floor lights like with the Ultimate. So both the 710 and the Ultimate, I do feel that they are overkill. If you're looking for a speaker for like your bedroom or like your living room, I mean, like both the 710 and Ultimate, those are going to be great for like a very large man cave if you've got it, or like let's say you're at a frat house, that's going to be a good option as well, either one. Or if you need something for like commercial use, both the Ultimate and the 710 are going to be good options. But honestly, like if you have the room for the Ultimate, go with the Ultimate, it's sick. But with the 710, if you need to like save on room, then might as well just go ahead with the 710. But something that you do got to keep in mind with the Ultimate is that with the Ultimate, it is using Auracast. Now, Auracast is good and bad. With Auracast, you can use it with JBL's newer upcoming speakers that are all using Auracast, and then you can also use your JBL Ultimate, which has Auracast, with any other speaker out there that has Auracast from a different brand. But the thing that I don't like about Auracast is that it's just not as stable or as easy to use as JBL's in-house Party Boost, which they use on their smaller, more portable speakers, or with JBL's in-house TWS that they use with their 310 and 110 and their 710 and whatnot. So just keep that in mind. Auracast is proving to be a bit of a downgrade compared to what JBL has had in-house, but it is more compatible with more things, but it's just not as good. But you know, it's up to you. But you know, like ultimately the Ultimate is overkill. If you can get it, great. at $1,000, it's the best $1,000 like party speaker that you can get, because like you've got like your 2/4 inch inputs, you can do karaoke and whatnot. It really just comes down to, do you have the space and do you want to spend the extra cash? But like the Ultimate is worth it over the 710. And with the 710, if you do decide to go with the 710, don't be surprised if we see a 720 at CES in a few weeks. Okay. You must, so Liquid, man, you must stream tech vids more often. We're experimenting with it. Maybe, like we can talk about like the videos that got released more recently, or if there's like some breaking news, we can talk about it. But, I like just focusing on like creating content that's going to live for a long time. Whereas with live streaming, like live streaming is just a completely different skill set, and it's very time consuming. We'll see. But like right now, the main objective is I do want as many people as possible to take advantage of the 1000 XM4s while they're still here. I would not be surprised that once the 1000 XM6s come out, the 1000 XM4s are going to be like completely retired. All right, so. Damn, so Saucy's been a fan since 2018. What time zone are you in if you missed all of the past live streams? Because, like, we're in New York, so we're Eastern here. Okay, if I have a non-flagship Samsung phone, which earbuds would you recommend? All right, David. So David's asking, what earbuds would I recommend for his Samsung phone? Now, it depends. Are you looking for earbuds? Are you looking for like earbuds like this? Or are you looking for in-ear earbuds? Like, let's say for, where is it? Okay, there. Or are you talking about in-ear earbuds like this? So if you're looking for in-ear earbuds and you got a Galaxy device, personally, I would much rather go with the Galaxy Buds 2 over the Galaxy Buds 3, because first off, the Galaxy Buds 3s, these are buds. They don't actually go into your ears like the Galaxy Buds 2. But personally, I am not the biggest fan of the Galaxy Buds 3 because they do feel and they look like knockoff AirPods. Now, and since this is Samsung's first attempt at making these types of earbuds, these earbuds just feel very bulky when they're in your ears. They feel more bulky than, like, let's say AirPods or the AirPods 3. And then compared to the AirPods 4, I've mentioned this in like past live streams. The AirPods 4, they look like a very basic redesign, but actually the AirPods 4 redesign, like the upgrades, are actually sick. Like the AirPods 4, and of course I left them downstairs, but the AirPods 4. So yeah, if you're looking for in-ear earbuds and you got a Galaxy device, just get yourself some Galaxy Buds 2s. These are good. Like if you're not trying to break the bank, I would steer clear from the Galaxy Buds 3. And if you're a Galaxy user and you're looking for a pair of earbuds, like a pair that don't go into your ear canals, I would actually go with the AirPods 4 over the Galaxy Buds 3. Even though I know AirPods and Galaxy, like it's not Apple and iPhone. I mean, yeah, Apple, AirPods and iPhone. I do think that the AirPods 4 are going to be a better match for you with your Galaxy device, even though you're doing iOS and Android, because with the AirPods 4, they have a smaller case than the Galaxy Buds 3, which is very impressive. Their case also has that built-in speaker, so if you need to use the Find My network, you can make the speaker do the notification, which always comes in clutch because you're eventually going to lose your earbuds. But then also the AirPods 4, the sculpt of the AirPods 4, they're sleeker, they feel more low profile, they do a better job of creating a passive seal with your ear canal, and then the earbuds themselves, they're smaller as well. So like overall, the AirPods 4, they're just more convenient to use than the Galaxy Buds 3s, which unfortunately, since this is Samsung's first attempt at this type of design, this just feels and looks like a knockoff of AirPods. So I know it's very sacrilegious, me saying, hey, you got a Galaxy device, get yourself some AirPods 4 if you want earbuds. but that's, you know, that's really how I feel. But if you want in-ear earbuds, get yourself some Galaxy Buds 2s, or let me see what other, if you want in-ear, but we're looking at like lower price, or, you know, the Soundcore Liberty 4 ANCs, they're a solid pair as well. However, this case is pretty big, but they do make up for their larger case by having a larger battery life. All right. So, Sean, I can't believe how discounted Sony speakers are. Yeah, actually, that's another thing. Because, like, you know, we've been talking about these deals on the live stream. Another major deal that I think you guys should take advantage of is the Sony ULT 7. The Sony ULT 7 competes with, you're welcome, David, the Sony ULT 7. That is Sony's new direct competitor to the JBL Boombox 4. Now, the JBL Boombox 4, just so that because last time we checked, the JBL Boombox 4 had not gone on sale. JBL Boombox 3, I'm sorry. I already have the 4 on the mind. Okay, so the JBL Boombox 3, that's renewed. So the JBL Boombox 3 is not on sale. It is still going for $500. Whereas the Sony ULT 7, it also has a retail price of $500, just like the Boombox 4 or 3. Why do you keep saying JBL Boombox 4? Is it because of the extreme form? But regardless, with the ULT 7, it has a retail price of $500, but it is now on sale for $350. So just price-wise, that's a big upgrade. I mean, like a big deciding factor. However, from a performance standpoint, I prefer the sound of the ULT 7 over the JBL Boombox 3 because it does have better instrument separation and the bass is deeper and richer. And with Sony's latest crop of like just products, with their soundbars, because we've done like a whole series on the Sony Bravia Theater Bar 9 and the Bar 8 and the Theater Quad, and we even put out a video on the Theater U. Sony has really been like focusing on improving the sound pressure on their speakers, improving instrument separation. Like they are starting to sound really good. And then also with the ULT 7, another major feature on it over the Boombox 3 is that it does have a 1/4 inch input, so you can plug in a microphone for karaoke, or some people are probably going to use them for protesting, but it's more fun to use it for karaoke. So I really feel that Sony is really pushing just all of their products, and like right now it's just hard to, I mean, like Sony's products are just like really improving by a lot. How much is the ULT 1 going for? Because the ULT 1, that one is actually my preferred speaker to use when I'm in the studio getting B-roll. You can actually see it like right there. There's the ULT 1, and if we knock this down a little bit, there's the Boombox 3, and if I move over, you can also see the ULT 7, that's there. But the ULT 1 right now is on sale for $98 on Amazon, and again, that is Sony's direct competitor to the JBL Flip 6, and the ULT 7, it just sounds more open, more balanced, it has more bass, and it gets a little louder than the JBL Flip 6. But the place where Sony really dropped the ball with the ULT 1, I'm sorry, is that it doesn't have Party Connect. So you can connect two ULT 1s together and get them to play in stereo mode, but you can't connect it to, like, let's say your ULT 7, which I do feel is a very big shame. But besides that, the ULT 1 is also a good speaker to consider right now if you're looking at Sony's discounted speakers. Sean, now personally, I'm also for CES 2025. I would not be surprised if Sony finally announces the ULT 3 and the ULT 5, because we have the ULT 1, which is Sony's direct competitor to the JBL Flip 6, and we have the Sony ULT 7, which is Sony's direct competitor to the JBL Boombox 3. We still need a competitor for the Charge 5, and we need a competitor for the Extreme 4, which I actually have right here. Extreme 4. So I think Sony's probably going to put out an ULT Field 3 to compete against the JBL Charge 5, and they're probably also going to put out an ULT Field 5 to compare against the JBL Boombox, the JBL Extreme 4, because unfortunately the Sony XG300 just doesn't perform very well against the Extreme 4, especially now because the Extreme 4 does have that removable battery, which comes in super clutch. Now, this removable battery, it's not as easy to remove as the removable battery on the JBL Party Box 320 or 120, but and the reason why it's not as easy to remove is because you do have to unscrew these Allen keys, and I feel that JBL did this approach because they wanted to keep their IP67 rating, so like this speaker is still waterproof. But you know, if you carry around your Allen key and whatnot, swapping out these batteries isn't that hard. Now, the Extreme 4 actually uses the same battery as the Party Box 320, so that battery is going to cost you $100. So with the removable battery on the Extreme 4, it's good for two things. Number one, it's going to help extend the life of your speaker, because once the battery dries out, instead of having to buy a new $400 speaker, you can just go ahead and get a new battery, or you can get multiple batteries, and if you take your speaker camping or to the beach or something, then you know you can just swap out the batteries. It's not as easy as the Party Box 320, but it's also not all that hard. But regardless, I also feel that the Sony ULT Field 7, that is another good deal to take advantage of since it's on sale for $350. And from a sound quality standpoint, I think it does better than the Boombox 4. The ULT Field 7 is a great candidate if you're looking for a speaker for the summer. And also the ULT Field 7 has that 1/4 inch input. You can put in a microphone for karaoke. Trust me, people love karaoke. Even if they're not good singers, just get them a little saucy, hand them a microphone, and it's going to be a party. So yeah, take advantage of that one while you can as well. All right, so Saucy is asking, what are your thoughts on spending around $300 for Bose portable speakers? One Bose SoundLink Max or Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2. So, if you've watched any of the videos that were produced on these Bose SoundLink Max, personally, I am not impressed by the Bose SoundLink Max for the price. The Bose SoundLink Max retails, I think it's $400. Hold on. The Bose SoundLink Max retails for $400. And at that price, it is just very hard to justify because it just doesn't get as loud as the Extreme 4, which retails for $380. And the Extreme 4 is currently going on sale for how much? And the Extreme 4 is currently on sale for $300 as well. But more importantly, with the Extreme 4, you know, like I just mentioned, the Extreme 4 has that removable battery, okay, which comes in super handy either for prolonging the life of your investment, because this is what these are investments. So the removable battery is going to help prolong the life of your investment, or you can get multiple batteries and keep the party going if you're going to be somewhere where you can't easily plug in. But also from a sound quality standpoint, with the Bose SoundLink Max, it has dual passive radiators, and it has two drivers that like shoot outwards a little bit, and it has a single tweeter, and it just doesn't get as loud or have as much bass as the Extreme 4. But then also, it sounds shallow for some reason. And when we did the reviews on the Bose SoundLink Max, I had to make a decision, and some people appreciate that decision and some people don't. But with those videos, I actually had to go in and help it by adjusting its EQ. I basically had to go in and pump the mids and the treble on the Bose SoundLink Max, because if we didn't do that, then the audio recordings of the Bose SoundLink Max just wouldn't be able to compete with all of the other speakers that we were comparing it to, because we compared the Bose SoundLink Max to the Extreme 4, we compared it to the Soundcore's speakers, both the Boom 2 Plus and the Boom 2, and if we didn't help it by using a custom EQ, it just the sound recordings just wouldn't have made sense. Oh, and then we also compared the Bose SoundLink Max to the ULT 7 and the Boombox 3 because of like just the price. So for me, in general, it's just hard to recommend the Bose SoundLink Max at its full retail price of $400, because if I'm gonna spend $400 on the Bose SoundLink Max, if size isn't an issue, then I might as well just get myself a Boombox 3 or an ULT 7. Or if I'm trying to compare between the Bose SoundLink Max or the Extreme 4, I'm gonna go with the Extreme 4, because not only with the Extreme 4 does it get louder and it has more bass, but also you got that removable battery, which is a big plus. But another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about the Bose SoundLink Max is that you would get the included carrying handle, but if you wanted the shoulder strap, that was sold separately for like $40 if I remember correctly. Whereas with the Extreme 4, you got your shoulder strap included, plus you got the little bottle opener. So, you know, it's just hard to recommend the Bose SoundLink Max over the Extreme 4. And even today, while it's Black Friday, it's still hard to justify getting the SoundLink Max at $300, whereas for $350, I can just get myself an ULT 7, and it's going to get louder and it's going to have more bass. Now, if you need something physically smaller, then at that point, I'd rather go with the Extreme 4. But then also, you're asking about the Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2. Now, those are going to be the next series of videos that we actually do. You know, like if you've been keeping up with our latest updates, uploads over the last few weeks, we've been uploading a lot of videos on the Sonos Arc Ultra, and we also compared the Sonos Arc Ultra to the Bose Smart Ultra Soundbar and the Sony Bar 9 with acoustic center sync with a Bravia 8, and we also reviewed the Bose Smart Soundbar, the new 2024 version, and we produced versus videos on those. But once we're done, we have like 2 more videos to make, and that's going to be a TV video. So I do have the Bravia 8, so I do want to make a review on the Bravia 8. I'm going to try to make that review, you know, like technical but not overly technical, like with some of these other review videos on TVs. You know, like in general, we are trying to expand into like home theater stuff. Personally, I'm a film buff. I love watching movies, and when I watch movies, you know, I want to, you know, like I like having my home theater. So we're trying to get into that niche. So we've been doing a lot of home theater stuff lately. But once we're done with the Bravia 8 review, and then we're probably also going to do a Bravia 8 versus Sony X90L TV, because I was using the Sony X90L in my living room for like the last year and a half, but now we got the Bravia 8, and so, you know, I just want to do a versus video on that, see how we can do a versus video on TVs. But once we're done with those, we will be making a series of videos on the Bose SoundLink Flex 2nd Gen. Actually, that reminds me, I should actually go ahead and order them. But we have to do the review video on the Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2, and then we also got to compare it to the Sony ULT 1 and the JBL Flip 6. And then, what else should we do with it? Oh, and then we also need to compare it to the Bose SoundLink Max. Now, personally, I was a fan of the Bose SoundLink Flex for a while, until the ULT 1 came out. But the Flex, it was decent. It's very bass heavy. But I believe the Flex came out before the JBL Flip 6, and well, obviously it came out before the ULT Field 1. Bose SoundLink Flex. Let's see, the Bose SoundLink Flex came out in 2021. And did we ever compare it to the Flip 6? Impossible if we didn't. No, I think we compared it. But now that the ULT Field 1 is out, I do prefer it over the Bose SoundLink Flex. But we do want to see, we are going to see how the Bose SoundLink Flex second generation compares to the original one. However, Bose is getting into this habit where they're just renaming their products, maybe adding AI, and then saying it's a brand new product. They just did that with the Bose Smart Soundbar, the 2024 version. The Bose Smart Soundbar, the new one, like speaker setup wise, it's the same as the Bose Smart Soundbar 600. They both have a total of 4 speakers. 2 of them they shoot out the sides, and 2 of them shoot upwards, and they have a single front-firing tweeter, and then you have your dual bass chambers. They both have it. The difference between the 600 and the 2024 Bose Smart Soundbar is that the new Bose Smart Soundbar has AI, which is supposed to help focus on people's voices. Now, in the review, in the sound test, yeah, the new Bose Smart Soundbar, it does a slightly better job of picking people's voices out, so it's great for dialogue. However, the difference between the 600 and the new 2024 version is tiny. So I really hope Bose doesn't do the same thing with the SoundLink Flex second gen, because Bose also did the same thing with their headphones. Oh, but real quick, I do want to say, with the Bose Smart Soundbar, yeah, even though I'm upset that the upgrades on the Bose Smart Soundbar are very minimal, it's still a very good mid-size soundbar for either a mid-size living room or for your bedroom. It's a really good small compact package, because we compared it to the Sony S2000, the Sonos Beam Gen 2, and we compared it to the JBL Bar 300. It's still a solid pickup, but I wish Bose did more with the new smart soundbar. And I hate that they're doing this thing where they're just adding AI, because they did the same thing with the Bose Smart Ultra Soundbar and the Bose Smart Soundbar 900. They both have the same speaker setups, except the Ultra has AI, whereas the 900 doesn't. And Bose did a very similar thing with their headphones too. I mean, like, these are the Bose QCs, and they're good. However, they're and they block out just a little bit more noise than the Bose QC45s. However, like Bose is just doing this thing where they're mainly just renaming their products and then just calling it. They're saying, hey, it's a new product, but I mean, like, we need bigger upgrades, because like we got a lot of other companies out there that they're doing bigger upgrades on their products. So right now, I can't say definitively Bose SoundLink Max or 2 Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2s. Like, if you need 2 small options, I would I would either recommend the JBL Extreme 4 if you're considering the Bose SoundLink Max, or if you want 2 small options, then maybe you want to go with 2 ULT Field 1s. ULT Field 1s sound great. Where Sony dropped the ball with the ULT Field 1 is that it doesn't have Party Connect. Should I stick with 2 310s because they sound really good? Oh, so you have 2 310s? Yeah, no, that's actually doubling up on your party boxes is a big game changer. We did try, that was a series that was, well, not a series, but that was like a not a style, but that was something that I was trying to do for a while, for a little bit, where I would get like 2 Charge 5s and compare it to an Extreme 4, or compare it to a Boombox 3, or we also did 2 Boombox 3s versus a Party Box 320 and see what those sound like. But like, in general, if you have 2 of the same speakers, you can get them to play in stereo mode and whatnot. The only thing that is disappointing when you have two party boxes wirelessly connected to one another is that if you have a microphone connected in one party box, uh, that microphone audio is only going to come out through the party box that's plugged in. It's not, even if they're both, even if you have two party boxes and they're wirelessly connected, the microphone audio doesn't come out of both party boxes. That's the only thing that oh, excuse me. That's the only thing. Thanksgiving. That's the only thing that is a little disappointing with two party boxes. But yeah, no. If you can stick, if you have those two party box 310s, you're solid. I mean, like, you wouldn't need to upgrade. I think I know we did we did a video where we recorded the sound performance with one party box ultimate versus two party box ultimates, and like that system, the two party box ultimates, was literally shaking the whole house. And the reason why we were able to do that video is because when I first got my first party box ultimate, like, we took it out of the box and it wouldn't power on. And I was with tech support for like a while trying to fix it. I was trying to fix it myself. It just wouldn't work. So I thought, damn it, I got to get these videos out. So I just went ahead and I ordered another Party Box Ultimate. And then while I was waiting for the second Party Box Ultimate to arrive, I was doing a live stream on the Party Box Ultimate, just like letting people know, like, hey, listen, this Party Box Ultimate is broken. Our videos are going to be delayed. And while on the live stream, the Party Box Ultimate, the first one, it just fixed itself. I think what happened was maybe it just needed to like finish doing an update that maybe it didn't finish doing while at the factory. I don't know. I think it was like updating something. But like, we left it on like during the live stream, and like at the 30-minute mark, like it just restarted, and then it just fixed itself. And so when the second Party Box Ultimate arrived, I thought, oh well, we've got it. Might as well see what we can do. See what kind of videos we can do. So we did a double Party Box Ultimate video. Yeah, but getting the sound test on that, especially the max volume test, that thing almost like knocked down the whole house. It's pretty funny. But yeah, no, always having two speakers is gonna be better than one because it's gonna get louder. You're gonna have better instrument separation. You're gonna have stereo sound. You're gonna have one for your left channel, one for your right channel. But two Party Box 310s is gonna be more than enough for at-home use. I mean, like, just last week we had a Friendsgiving, and my audio setup, because I wanted something with karaoke, we had the home theater system going, which right now my home theater system consists of the Bravia 8 hooked up to the Sony Bravia Theater Quad, plus an SW5 subwoofer, which is like Sony's big subwoofer. Plus, we also wirelessly connected the 320 up to my Bravia 8, and thankfully the latency on the Bravia 8 is super minimal, so it's not a problem like with the Bose Smart Soundbar 600. So you can have your home theater audio and then your Bluetooth audio, your Bluetooth speaker audio going at the same time, and it doesn't create like that echo effect because like latency isn't an issue. But yeah, that was a pretty sick setup we had, especially for the whole karaoke thing. All right, so we got a kid here asking, should I upgrade from the Watcha 720Ns to the ULT Wears? So these are the Watcha 720Ns, really good entry level, very affordable headphones for the gym, especially. They're very lightweight. These weigh in at 190 grams, which is very light, because like with the ULT Wears, these weigh in at like 255 grams, 254 grams, around there. So with these are just more lightweight, they're more comfortable, but also these have very spacious ear cups, and their ear pads have a very little padding coming in contact with your skin. So these ear pads stay cool for a long while, whereas with the ULT Wears, these ear pads are also very spacious, However, these earpads do have more contact coming in with your skin, so these can heat up faster than the WatchOS 720Ns. But regardless, the ULT Wears are still very comfortable, and then the ULT Wears, they also have a fully collapsible design, which means they also come included with a very nice hard shell carrying case. This hard shell carrying case is just like a few millimeters thicker than the hard shell carrying case that comes with the Sony XM4s. But from a performance standpoint, the ULT Wears, these are going to block out more noise than the WatchOS 720Ns. So if you're looking for a pair of headphones for the gym, WatchOS 720Ns are going to do a decent job of like just blocking out your gym's music, you know, whatever music they're pumping. But with the ULT Wears, these are going to block out more noise, and then these are going to be good for like commuting or whatnot. They wouldn't be the best option for flying just because they aren't going to block out as much noise as the XM4s. Plus, the ULT Wears, they don't have that atmospheric pressure sensor on them, so they aren't going to recalibrate themselves while at cruising altitude. But from a sound quality standpoint, these do have better instrument separation than the WatchOS 720Ns, and then you also have the extra bass feature. So that extra bass feature, these are going to rattle your head more, the bass, more than the bass on the WatchOS 720Ns, but also with the ULT Wears, with the extra bass feature, that's actually going to be super useful when you're going to watch a movie with them, because it's kind of like having a subwoofer strapped onto your head. But the bass on these is nowhere near the bass found on the Skullcandy Crusher whatever, because we have the Skullcandy Crusher Evo, we have the Skullcandy Crusher ANC2s. Those have a lot more bass than the ULT Wear, but the ULT Wears, these do have much better instrument separation, they block out more noise, and they're a lot more comfortable as well. So if you have the WatchOS 720Ns and you're thinking about picking up the ULT Wears, right now the ULT Wears, they're on sale for $150. They're also a really good option to consider, and more importantly, the ULT Wears are a much better option to consider than the Beat Studio Pros, okay? Because like, these live streams, I'm trying to do a few things. I'm trying to let as many people as possible know, oh no, my ULT Wears. I want as many people as possible to know that the XM4s are on sale for $200. I also want people to know that the Bose QCs, these are also on sale for $200. They're also a great pickup to consider. No, they don't have as many features, or their tech specs isn't as good as the XM4s. However, these are more comfortable than the XM4s, but the XM4s are still very comfortable in their own right, but these do block out more noise, they have better battery life, and they have quick attention, which is super useful. But right now, the Beat Studio Pros, oh, and then the other thing that I do want to let people know on these live streams is the Beat Studio Pros are currently on sale for, last time we checked, was at $160, down from their $350 retail price. Even at $160, I would not consider the Beat Studio Pros because they're not good. Just from a comfort standpoint, the Beat Studio Pros they don't compete with a lot of any of these headphones on the table. The ear cups on the Beat Studio Pros, they do not pivot or swivel too much, and so these are not going to fit as comfortably on your head, right? Because these are putting more pressure on the anterior portion of your ears versus the posterior portion of your ears. These also have more clamping force than a lot of these other headphones, and then the ear cups on the Beat Studio Pros, they're a lot more shallow, so they are going to like press down on your ears more than the ULT Wears. These are a lot more spacious compared to the Beat Studio Pros. But then also from a tech spec standpoint, the ULT Wears are going to block out more noise than the Beat Studio Pros. The Beat Studio Pros, these have a retail price of $350, and these only block out a little bit more noise than the Watch 720Ns, which retail for $150, and right now they're on sale for like $90. And then there's also the case with the Beat Studio Pros. Those are a pair of premium priced ANC headphones, and they come with a soft shell case, whereas with all of these other headphones, they come with hard shell cases. Now, JBL by Passion is spamming the chat. Skullcandy Crusher, Evo, or ANC 2s. Where are my Evos? Hold on. I know I had them out earlier this week. I have the case. Here they are. Now, like I mentioned very briefly earlier, because I saw you spamming the chat, dude. Just hold on. Skullcandy Crusher, Evos, or ANC 2s. The ANC on the Skullcandy Crusher ANC 2s isn't the greatest. What these headphones are known for is their bass. These things have an obnoxious amount of bass. But I feel that that bass can get old after a while. So once you get bored of that bass and you want to use your headphones normally, the SMS separation on these headphones isn't all that great. So that's why personally I do prefer something like the ULT Wears over the Skullcandy Crusher Evos, even though these do not have nearly as much bass as the Crusher Evos or Crusher ANC 2s. These are a more sensible overall investment because these are more comfortable, they block out more noise, and if you want to use them without all of that bass, they have really good SMS separation compared to the Crusher Evos. But then also, whether you get the Crusher Evos or the Crusher ANC 2s, these headphones are heavier. I can't tell you right off the top of my head how much these weigh, but these are heavier than the ULT Wear or a lot of these other headphones that we have on the table. But then also their ear cups, they're a lot more cramped compared to the ULT Wears. And then there's also the padding on this here. This padding here is very stiff, so this can create a hot spot on the top of your head. Whereas with the ULT Wear, these are a lot more comfortable. Now, if you're trying to choose between the Evos, oh my God, my ULT Wears. Hold on. Now with the, let me just push that over. Okay, great. Now, if you're trying to choose between the Evos and the ANC 2s, I think it's better to just go with the Evos because the active noise cancellation on the ANC 2s isn't worth it. If you need active noise cancellation, you might as well just go with another pair of headphones. But if you just want that bass, just get yourself the Evos. Okay? Are we good? JBL by Passion. And then also the Evos, they come included with a soft shell case. They're decent. I think the Evos don't actually need a hard shell case just because these things, they're built like a tank. So these are actually one of those few headphones that don't need a hard shell case just because they're so freaking durable. Another pair of headphones that I would say don't need a hard shell case are these Sennheiser HD 450BTs, but I think those are like completely retired now. So yeah. All right, so JBL by Passion. Are we good? Are we good? So just get yourself the Crusher Evos. If you need ANC, get yourself a different pair of ANC headphones. All right, so let's see. All right, so where are we? It's just like the chat just keeps. Okay, what's the life probability of a Party Box 310? Are you talking about like battery life, or are you talking about like how long does the battery last realistically? Realistically, I mean, like if you're doing a house party, you got it at like 70% volume, it's gonna be good for 8 hours, no problem. Or are you asking for like the overall longevity of the product? If you're asking about the overall longevity of the product, the only thing that I can say is the Party Box 310 that I got. When did I get it? I got it when Kobe died, because I remember I was filming B-roll, and then we got news that Kobe died. GBO. The Party Box 310 came out in November 2020. So from November 2020 until now, my Party Box 310 has been fine. However, with the new Party Box 320, one of the main selling points of the 320 is that it does have that removable battery. Now you can get a spare battery for $100, and that removable battery is either going to allow you to extend the overall life of your product, because once your battery dries out, instead of having to buy a new speaker, you could just swap out the battery easily, or you can get multiple batteries and just keep the party going if you're going to be somewhere where you can't easily plug in. So I mean, like, I don't know if you're asking for like the battery life longevity or if you're asking for the product longevity. But like product longevity wise, it's been 5 years. My 310 is fine. We do have it here in one of the closets here because like it's not fully retired. I think I'm gonna hold on to it maybe for like future videos or whatnot. How long will the battery last in the speaker over a lifetime? I mean, like I said, the 310 that we have right now is fine. So, and it's over 5 years old. And you know, it's a speaker that is used on a regular basis. I've actually been thinking that we have a lot of large box speakers here in the studio, and you know, I think I've always played around with the idea of like starting like a speaker rental company, because like, you know, they're here just like chilling. Obviously, if I'm gonna go somewhere and when have a get together with friends, I'm the guy that like brings the speakers. But like right now we have like a solid 15 box speakers in the studio just not doing anything. I've always thought like maybe start like a rental company, but then if you start a rental company, you gotta worry about like wear and tear. You gotta worry about speakers getting stolen. And then there's also like the whole logistic thing, because like then I'm gonna have to take the speakers to where they need to be, and then that might be a pain in the butt. And then even though these speakers are like super easy to use, I'm probably gonna have to do tech support. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. But like I do see these box speakers just there chilling, and I'm just like, I gotta put you guys to work. Even though those box speakers, you know, through the videos, they produce revenue like that. But yeah, no, the 310 we have in the studio is over 5 years old now. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so, and yeah, Raiders telling Casey, as long as you take care of it, as long as you take care of it, theoretically, you know, 10 years, you know, like plug it in when it needs to charge up, and then once it's fully charged, just unplug it. Don't leave it plugged in. And then also you do want to run the battery ever so often, because like if you leave a battery fully charged, then if you don't like run it, it's gonna dry out. That's gonna be a problem. But yeah. All right, so Saucy is saying what I meant by 2 flexes versus 1 max is basically which setup is better. Like two, yeah. So like we've done that video. We've done the video where we do a JBL Charge 5, 2 JBL Charge 5s versus an Extreme 4. We still haven't been able to. We still haven't done the videos on the Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2. Those are coming, but usually having 2 speakers is better than 1, just because you're gonna have a better stereo. You're gonna have stereo sound, so you're gonna have instrument separation. You're gonna have your left channel and your right channel. But we do need to see how the Bose Flexes perform, because like I mentioned earlier, one of the things, you know, like for me, it's hard to justify and recommend the Bose SoundLink Max, because that's a speaker that has a $400 price tag, but it doesn't get as loud or have as much bass as a speaker for $400 should. I mean, if the Bose SoundLink Max, if they come out and they say, hey, this speaker has a retail price of $250, okay, we can work with that. But Bose, just doing their little Bose tax, they go, hey, here's this speaker. It doesn't get as loud or have as much bass as these other speakers on the market. But hey, it's very pretty looking, and we're gonna charge $400 for it. And I'm just like, yeah, nah, it's too much. And right now it's on sale for $300, and it's still hard to justify because the Extreme 4 is also on sale for $400. I mean $300, and it just gets louder, has more bass, it has that swappable battery, and it comes included with a shoulder strap. Like, it's still hard to justify getting the Bose SoundLink Max. So yeah, I mean, like, dude, if you want two speakers to pair them in stereo mode, get yourself two Oldfield ones. If you want one large speaker to take on the go with you, just get yourself an Extreme 4. I mean, like, I think something that people need to understand is our main goal here is to help you with your purchase decision. We have no problem saying, hey, this is good, this is bad, because, you know, like, you can shill everything that comes through the door. But the problem there is, if people don't like what they bought, they could just easily return it, and you're going to tarnish the relationship that you and the audience have. So right now, I'm imploring you, you want a single speaker, get yourself an Extreme 4, or if you want two speakers, get two Oldfield ones, because I feel that if you get either of those two options, the likelihood of you returning what you just bought is going to be a lot less than if you get a Bose SoundLink Max or if you get two Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2s. However, you know, like, I'm certain about the Bose SoundLink Max. With the Bose SoundLink Flex 2, I still can't speak on it officially because we haven't done those videos. But yeah, Saucy, like, right now, we want to help you make that purchase decision and not make a return. And if you're in between a Bose SoundLink Max and a Flex Gen 2, just get yourself an Extreme 4 or get yourself two Oldfield ones, okay? All right. But yeah, Casey, don't leave your party box plugged in all the time. You should. Don't do that. Like, don't, once it's charged, unplug it, drain the battery ever so often. If not, you're going to damage your battery. However, you know, if you want to get more sound out of your speaker, you know, use it while it's plugged in because it's going to get louder, it's going to have more bass. But don't just always leave it plugged in because that is that is going to be a problem. Okay, so Studio 3s are $89 at Walmart for Black Friday. Okay, so the Studio 3s are still on sale at Walmart for $90. Again, with the Beats Studio 3s, they have the same body as the Beats Studio Pros. The difference is the Beats Studio 3s, they charge with a micro USB port. Is it micro USB? It's either micro USB or Lightning. Whereas the Beats Studio Pros, these charge with USB-C. And the Beats Studio 3s, they also come included with a hard shell case. Whereas with the Beats Studio Pros, these have been downgraded to a soft shell case, which for a pair of $350 headphones is not acceptable. But at $80, at $90 for the Studio 3s, that's a completely different story. However, with the Studio 3s, just keep in mind, the body is the same as the Beats Studio Pros. And like we mentioned earlier, the Beats Studio Pros are not the most comfortable headphones out there. These ear cups, they do not pivot or swivel too much, so they're not going to rest as naturally on your head as with, let's say, we're gonna do the Watch S720Ns, because these are on sale for $90 as well. These are a lot more comfortable because these ear cups, they swivel a lot more and they pivot a lot more. So when you put them on, they're gonna feel a lot more natural than the Beats Studio 3s. So I'm still, you know, I don't recommend the Beats Studio Pros and the Beats Studio 3s. They're also a pair of headphones that I was never really the biggest fan of. If you're looking to spend $90 on your headphones, I recommend that maybe you try out the Watch S720Ns. Again, I think these would be a better purchase, and you're going to be happier with them, and you're going to be less likely to return them than with the Beats Studio 3s. And then also, let me just double check and then also the Beats Studio 3. think they're micro USB. No, yeah, here they are. All right, so the Beat Studio 3s, these. Oh, and they also have less battery life. Wireless, we gotta see the included accessories. Nope, nope. What do they charge with? Hold on. So here it says Beat Studio 3 is charged with a micro USB port. So yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna get yourself a pair of headphones in 2025s and they're still charging with a micro USB port, that is just gonna be a pain in the ass because everything charges with a USB-C port at least. So again, with the Sony XM4s, these are also on sale for $90. They charge with a USB-C port, which is just going to make life for you a lot easier. But then also from a comfort standpoint, these are a lot more comfortable than the Beat Studio 3s, and then these also have a better performing battery life. They also block out more noise, and they sound good too. So because like the problem with Beats, a lot of people get Beats just because they think it's because like, you know, it's what LeBron uses. I mean, like they see LeBron wearing a pair of headphones and then they go, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna get the same headphones. But they're not good. That's the thing. They're not good. Okay. Okay. Thought on the Monitor 3S. The Monitor 3s. What are the Monitor? Oops, let's not do that. Like, are you talking about like, oh, okay, yeah, the Marshall Monitor 3s. Yeah, we haven't been able to cover. Like, I know that they came out, and the Marshall Monitor 3s, those are Marshall's like competitors to the Bose QCs, the XM4s, and whatnot. We haven't, and they retail for $320. We just haven't been able to get to them. You know, like ultimately, we're limited on time. We can't get to everything. And also, unfortunately, this channel, the majority of the views come from, like 80% of the views come from the search bar. YouTube just doesn't recommend this channel as much as I would like it. You know, we don't get suggested. We aren't in the browser feature. 80% of our views, they come from the search bar. Like even right now, like if I were to show you the analytics and you would see the traffic, everything is coming from the search bar. Like you would just think like, hey, YouTube, if people are searching for this video and people are staying and they're clicking and watching this video, maybe suggest a video. But YouTube just goes, nah, let's not do that. That makes too much sense. Like everything just comes from the search bar. So since everything is mostly on the search bar, we have to play a balance of like making content that, first of all, I want to make, but then also content that like you want to watch, and then also content that is going to get searched through the search bar. And unfortunately, Marshall's headphones, they don't rank very well. So yeah, it's all good. There are like 0 reviews online, but they aren't as detailed like yours. So So yeah, I mean, like they just don't rank very well. Maybe we'll get to the Marshall Monitor 3s come February, come March, because that's like our slower period. But like I mentioned earlier in the live stream, we are trying to expand into home theater stuff because I'm a film buff and I enjoy TVs, I enjoy home theater stuff, I enjoy sound bars. And over the last few weeks, we've been releasing a lot of videos on the Arc Ultra. On one of these live streams earlier this week, somebody basically gave me the idea of we need to make a video on the Sonos Ray, and we also need to make a video on the Sonos Ray versus the Bose TV speaker, because Bose has the Bose Smart Ultra soundbar, the Bose Smart soundbar, and the Bose TV speaker. The Bose TV speaker is not great. And it's also very funny because LTT, they've covered the Bose TV speaker multiple times, and they also go, this is not great, but a lot of people buy it. But when I was doing research on the Sonos Ray, I saw the speaker setup and I thought, this is actually a very interesting looking soundbar. So once we're done with the Bose Flex Gen 2 videos, once we're done with the Bravia 8 videos, we're probably gonna go back to Sonos' soundbars, and we're going to make a video on the Bose Ray versus Bose TV speaker, and then also, since we covered the Sonos Arc Ultra, and that video, well, those series of videos are performing very well, I think I want to revisit the Sonos Arc Ultra, and we're going to do a video where we show off the audio performance with dual Era 100s and dual Era 300s as your rear satellite speakers, because like the problem with Sonos's soundbars, if you want a Sonos home theater, is that it gets very expensive very quickly. Sonos is, like I try to explain this to people when they're looking for like soundbar advice. Sonos is the Apple of soundbars. Their soundbars are very overpriced, and they also have a cult-like following. And if you talk bad about Sonos, you're going to be in trouble. We're going to be doing those videos. So those are videos that I think will rank much better than the Marshall Monitor 3s. And those are also videos that I want to make. But maybe we'll get to the Marshall Monitor 3s maybe come February, come March. We'll see. Because like right now we're just it's the end of the year. There's a lot of products that need to get covered. So it just gets to the point where like we just can't cover everything. We can't. Well, let me correct that. We just can't cover everything correctly, because we can get any product that we want through the door and just get on the camera real quick and just read off the tech specs and then say, hey, this thing is amazing. But to actually like critique the product, compare the product to its predecessor, and compare the product to multiple other products, direct competitors, that takes time. So it's just a matter of time. We can't cover everything, and that's fine. I mean, like, we can let other people cover it and whatnot. So Felix is asking, is anybody buying the XM4s from Sony's official site? Is Sony offering a deal or something? Let's see. Okay, so Sony has the XM4s. They also have them on sale for $200. It doesn't seem like they have any extra exclusive deals. Honestly, picking up Sony's headphones either from Amazon or Best Buy or from their site directly, everything should be fine. They arrive at the same time and everything. Hello from Finland, hello from New York. But just in general, I'm trying to make these live streams just to let people know, hey, listen, get yourself the Extreme 4s while you can. I feel that once the Extreme 6s, not the Extremes, get yourself the Sony XM4s while you can, because I feel that once the XM6s come out, the XM4s are probably going to get retired permanently. And personally, I do prefer the XM4s over the XM5s because these do have that collapsible design, so you're going to have a smaller case. And these, I do feel that these are more comfortable. They have the same atmospheric pressure sensor as the XM5s, so when you're at cruising altitude, they're going to block out a lot more noise than the Bose QCs, Bose QC Ultra, AirPod Max, and Heiser Momentum 4s. I know I sound like a broken record. I'm just trying to let as many people possible know that if you're looking for a pair of ANC headphones, if you're looking for a good deal, if you're looking for something that you're going to be happy with, get yourself the XM4s while you can. Now, the XM5s, with these, you know, like I've said, since they do have the lay flat design, they are going to have a larger case. And I also don't think that these are as comfortable as the XM4s. However, these do have better instrument separation. They have a little bit less kick in their bass than the XM4s, but they're still good. But in general, these do sound better than the XM4s because they do have that better instrument separation. But these also block out more noise than the XM4s. They block out a little bit more noise than the XM4s. So if you want to block out the absolute most amount of noise while you're flying, you're still going to want to go with the XM5s. However, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit on the comfort and the case. The case just isn't as convenient as the XM4s to travel with, because like when I'm flying, you know, like my bag, it's packed, it's cramped. I want the smaller, I want the thinner case. Whereas with the XM5s, since they have the lay flat design, this case is larger and it's just and it is a little thicker. So that's the thing. I've already said this before. If the XM6s were just the XM4s with XM5 tech specs, that'd be perfect. But we already saw the XM6s. They're going to have the same body as the XM5s. So there's that. However, somewhere where the XM5s really obliterate the XM4s, it is the built-in microphone for phone calls. This microphone sounds a lot better than the microphone found on the XM4s, but also the microphone on the XM5s. These do a really good job of blocking out noise pollution. They do a better job than the Bose QC Ultras, and I think they do a better job than the AirPod Max, but especially the Bose QC Ultras, because with either the Bose QC Ultras or the Bose QCs, first of all, clarity isn't as good as the XM5s, but when they try to block out noise pollution, they become, it sounds like, they sound hollow. It kind of sounds like you're underwater a little bit, the Bose QC Ultras. Whereas with the XM5s, they're able to block out that noise pollution without sounding like they're distorting your voice as much or all that much. So yeah. But like the XM4s, they do have their pros, like a smaller case and a more comfortable fit than the XM5s, but they do have their cons, like especially the built-in microphone for phone calls. But also, another video that we had to like rush out a few days ago was some people were getting worried because Sony was putting out firmware updates for the XM4s and the XM5s, because the XM6s are maybe going to come out in the next few months. You know, like they've been leaked, but we still don't know when they're going to come out. People thought that Sony was trying to degrade the active noise cancellation on the XM4s and XM5s to make the XM6s look better. We actually did a video where we compared the before and after the active noise cancellation on these headphones, before and after the firmware update. And I actually found that after the firmware update, the active noise cancellation on the XM4s was improved, And after the firmware update, the active noise cancellation on the XM5s, I wouldn't say that it wasn't degraded, but it is different, and overall I do think that it performs better. After the firmware update, we found that the XM5s, they were blocking out a little bit less road noise, but they were blocking out a more chatter after the firmware update. So personally, I do feel that that is a net positive for the XM5s. So yeah. But yeah, definitely. If if you're gonna get the XM4s, get them wherever you can. Get them from Best Buy, get them from Amazon, get them from Sony's direct site. The important thing is, I think that you should just get them if you need a pair of ANC headphones. All right, thanks for the advice. Gonna wait for your videos on the Bose Flex Gen 2. Oh, damn, it's 5:30 where you are? Damn. Yeah, those videos on the Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2, we're gonna do them. They're probably gonna come out in the middle of December because we do need to. First of all, we have to do the videos on. I want to do the videos on the Sony Bravia 8, and then we'll probably do a comparison video between the Bravia 8 and the Sony X90L. But then after that, we're going to go directly into the Bose SoundLink Flex Gen 2. We're going to have to do the review video where we compare it to its predecessor. And we're also going to have to do a video where we compare it to the JBL Flip 6 and the Sony ULT Field 1. And then just for the funsies, we'll also compare it to the Bose SoundLink Max. Maybe just for curiosity's sake, we'll add in, maybe I'll get 2 Bose SoundLink Flex I. We'll get 2 of those speakers, and maybe we'll do that with the Bose SoundLink Max video. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. If you have a student discount, they can stack and get it for as low as $292 Australian. Okay. Well, listen, man. I'm just saying. We're doing these videos. Get the Sony 1000 XM4s while you can. You know, like, I really wish that the XM6s would just be the XM4s with the XM5 tech specs, but I guess maybe we're gonna have to wait for the XM7s for that. We'll see. So Goldfinger says that he got the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. I'm assuming the Momentum 4s. Excuse me. I'm still, you know, like we got like Turkey Day. So I'm assuming that you got the Sennheiser Momentum 4s for $150. The Sennheiser Momentum 4s for $150, they're a solid pair of ANC headphones, and I think maybe you got them on a deal or you added a discount or something, because the Momentum 4s, I know they're on sale, but not for $150 unless it changed. Sennheiser. So the Momentum 4s right now, they're on sale for $230. The Momentum 4s, they're a decent pair of ANC headphones, but they're hard. I feel that they're hard to justify compared to either the XM4s or the Bose QCs. Now, with the Momentum 4s, let me grab them. Nope, those are the Bowers and Wilkins PX7S2s. Here, this is, oh wow, these are the Surface headphones. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Okay, so here are the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. Now, with the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, these also have a lay flat design to them, very similar to the XM5s. Now, since the Momentum 4s have a lay flat design to them, that is going to mean that their case is going to have a larger footprint than your fully collapsible headphones, like the XM4s, okay? Or, all right, and Marwin is saying that he got the Copper Edition Momentum 4s for $200, okay? So maybe I'm gonna help a few people here that got the Momentum 4s. The Momentum 4s are decent, but right now in 2025, basically, for me, it's hard to justify the Momentum 4s over the Sony XM4s or the Bose QCs. So just like with the Sony XM4s, the Bose QCs, they also have a fully collapsible design to them, So they're also going to have a smaller case. So this is the Bose QC case, and now there is the Sony XM4 case. You see these cases are much smaller, they're much thinner, whereas with the Momentum 4, this is that case. This thing is huge, okay? So if you plan on flying, if you plan on traveling, this case is a bit of a pain in the butt. Now, one of the things about this case is that when you take these headphones out of their case, they're going to automatically power on, which sounds great. The problem with this case, though, and this feature, where they automatically power on, is if you have this case standing upright, then even if the headphones are in their case, they're still going to power on. Now, again, from a flying context, when I'm flying, I like to have my AirPods in. Maybe I'm walking around the airport, I'm checking in, I'm checking my bags, you know, I'm walking to the gate. In that situation, I want to have my earbuds in, and then once I'm at the gate, and I know I'm going to be there for, like, let's say 40 minutes or for an hour and a half just waiting for my plane, I'm going to grab my headphones so that I can chill out. But if you have your headphones in your backpack while you're flying, and then this case turns, and then these headphones turn on even while they're in their case, they're going to mess up the audio, they're going to connect to your phone, it's a pain in the butt. Now, I have tried to tell Sennheiser multiple ways about this issue, but it's been 3 years now, and these headphones are still having that issue. So just keep that in mind if you pick up the Momentum 4s, okay? Another thing about the Momentum 4s is their fit. Now, the Momentum 4s, these weigh in at like 310 grams, I believe. I gotta look at my notes. Like, I have a whole spreadsheet with like grams of their weight and whatnot. But these headphones are heavier than either the XM4s or the Bose QCs. But another thing about the Momentum 4s is, yes, these ear cups are very spacious. However, this padding is very soft. So when you put these headphones on, this padding, it's going to expand, and so it's going to increase the amount of surface area coming in contact with your skin. So that's going to mean that these ear cups are going to heat up faster than the ear cups on either the Sony XM4s, and especially the ear cups on the Bose QCs, because they have a lot less surface area coming in contact with your skin. Because like if you look at the Bose QCs, these ear pads, they have less surface area, but they're also a lot deeper than the ear pads on the Momentum 4s. And then here are the Sony XM4s, and these do have a little bit more surface area than the Bose QCs, and these aren't as spacious as the Bose QCs, but these headphones are still more comfortable than the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. And then also there's their weight. The XM4s are noticeably lighter than the Momentum 4s, and the XM4s weigh in at 255 grams, and then, or 252 grams, something like that. And then here are the Bose QCs, and these weigh in at 230 grams. So these are even lighter than the XM4s. So if you're flying, if you're walking around with your headphones on, these are going to be just overall more comfortable than either the XM4s and especially the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. And when it comes to the active noise cancellation on the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, they block out a lot of noise, yes, but they do have more cabin pressure than either the Bose QCs or the Momentum 4s, the XM4s. And what I mean by cabin pressure is basically when you feel like your ears are getting pushed on, almost like you gotta like pop your ears, like you're underwater. That's what I mean by cabin pressure. And the Momentum 4s, they do have more cabin pressure than the Bose QCs and the Sennheiser and the Sony XM4s. But then also, more importantly, like I've already tried explaining a few times already, with the Sony XM4s, these do have that atmospheric pressure sensor in them. So at cruising altitude, when you calibrate these headphones while at cruising altitude, they're going to use their atmospheric pressure sensor, and they're going to go, oh, the atmosphere here is less, because it drops down from 1 to 8 while at cruising altitude. And so they're going to adjust their active noise cancellation, and as a result, they are going to block out more noise than the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, because the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, they don't have the atmospheric pressure sensor. So even though here on ground level they block out a lot of noise, when you're flying, they're not going to block out as much noise relative to the XM4s. But two key areas where the Momentum 4s really beat both the XM4s and the Bose QCs is battery life. These have an advertised battery life of 50 hours, and they also sound a lot better than either the XM4s or the Bose QCs. But from like a comfort and convenience standpoint, you are going to make some big sacrifices with the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. Now, if the case size of the Momentum 4s or if the fit of the Momentum 4s isn't a problem for you, then yeah, absolutely, keep the Momentum 4s. But if you do want something more comfortable, or if you want something that's going to perform better for traveling, you're either going to want to go with the Bose QCs or the Sony 1000 XM4s. But like, regardless, if you are going to get yourself the Sennheiser Momentum 4s today for $220, they're good. But for $200, I would either recommend the Sony XM4s or the Bose QCs. Personally, I would recommend the Sony 1000 XM4s over the Bose QCs if they're both at $200, because the Sony 1000 XM4s, they do have more features than the Bose QCs. However, if you don't mind sacrificing some features for better comfort, then you want to go with the Bose QCs. Bose QCs or the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s. Those are two completely different headphones, and I actually have them right here. So I have the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s. These are very sexy looking. These are very nice looking. These have better build quality. These have better feeling materials, right? These are also very comfortable, but since these do have more premium materials than the Bose QCs, these are heavier than the Bose QCs. I believe these weigh in at like 308 grams or 310 grams as well, something along those lines. Whereas with the Bose QCs, these weigh in at 230 grams, okay? So what is that? That's 70, 80 grams. So that 80-gram difference, it really makes a big difference when you're wearing them, okay? So again, if you want something with better comfort, you want to go with the Bose QCs, and then also the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s. These do have a larger case. And then also the Bose QCs, they do block out more noise than the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s. However, if you're looking for a pair of headphones to listen to music with, then yeah, the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s are a lot better than the Bose QCs. They sound more open, and they have better instrument separation, and they have better resonance in their bass than the Bose QCs. Because with the Bose QCs, they're mostly of they always lean towards a neutral sound signature, or for people that like say more vocals focused sound signature. But if you want a lot of bass out of your headphones, then the Bose QCs are going to leave you hanging a little bit. Now the bass on the PX7S2s, it doesn't kick like the bass on the AirPod Max, but it does resonate. The Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s, they sound like the AirPod Max, but without as much physicality in their bass as the AirPod Max. But for sound quality, right now in 2025, 2024, 2025, the Bowers & Wilkins PX7S2s are one of my favorite headphones to listen to music with. But for traveling, absolutely not. And even though I give a lot, I crap on the AirPod Max a lot, I do like how they sound. They sound really good. But my favorite pair of headphones, my favorite sounding wireless headphones are still the Sennheiser Momentum 3s. And this is wireless, like we're not talking about like any open back headphones. We're not talking about any wired headphones that are connected to an amp or anything or a DAC. This is, like we try to focus more on Bluetooth headphones. We try to focus on ANC headphones. because you know, if we make videos on like audiophile grade headphones, like trying to make a video where you're trying to explain audio quality, I feel it's very difficult, and you know, it gets very repetitive and very boring very quickly. Whereas with these more active noise cancellation focused headphones, you know, like obviously audio quality is very important. However, with ANC headphones, it's more about how can these headphones make my life easier. You know, like, can I travel with them? Can I commute with them? Can I isolate myself when I'm going to do homework and whatnot, or when I'm going to do work? So there's like more aspects to talk about when it comes to Bluetooth ANC headphones rather than audiophile grade headphones. You get me? Because like we tried doing videos on like the Sennheiser HD 600s and whatnot, and you know, it was just hard just trying to put into words the nuances of different sound quality. That's just something that I feel that you gotta experience for yourself. Whereas with Bluetooth ANC headphones, you can talk about the fit and the quality and the active noise cancellation performance and the ambient mode and the microphone for phone calls, the battery life, the case size, and all of that. So, yeah. Hello from Sweden. How about the Sony XB900Ns after your recommendations a couple years ago? Very pleased with those headphones. Yeah, no. If you watched the XB900N video, then yeah, you've been here a while. When did the XB900Ns come out? They came out like 5 years ago as well. Sony XB900Ns came out in, oh man, yeah, in 2019. And the XB900Ns, I actually have them here because we also talked about them on one of the past live streams. The XB900Ns are the predecessors to the current Sony ULT Wear. And these actually have more bass than the ULT Wear, right? So these are the XB900N, and this is actually when Sony went to a more relaxed and subtle design to them, because before then with the Sony XB950Ns, they had like these very like circular headphones with like these large headband and whatnot. They were trying to make their headphones like very stylish, but ultimately they just looked like, they looked very funny. And then when they went with the XB900Ns, these had a much sleeker design to them, and I think they were really good. I mean, looks-wise. But then Sony decided to go with the XB910Ns, which I know I have here as well. Hold on. Nope. Yep, nope. Here are the 900Ns. Where are the, oh, there they are. But then Sony decided to go with the 910Ns, and they kind of went back to their more stylish design, and I was not the biggest fan of this design. It's very bulbous. It makes your head look really big because like it sticks out a lot. Whereas with the XB900N, these are more low profile. Hold on. You see that? A lot sleeker. And they look very similar to the XM4s, which are these. But the XM4s actually have an even more low profile headband. So you see that? These actually look even better than the XB900Ns and especially the XB910Ns. But now we have the ULT Wears, and these look sleeker than, hold on. And these look sleeker than the XB910Ns. So yeah. So I really liked the XB900Ns. When we went to the 910Ns, these just didn't look as sleek, and also these have less bass than the XP900Ns. But then we moved to the ULT Wears, and the ULT Wears, they look sleeker than the XP910Ns. However, these actually have a little bit less bass than the XP910Ns as well. But regardless, I do feel that the ULT Wears are a solid pair of headphones, and they're a good successor to both the XP910N and the XP900N. And as you can expect, the ULT Wears, they are going to block out more noise than the XP900Ns, but these are going to have better instrument separation than either the XP910Ns or the XP900Ns, and they also have a decent sounding microphone on them for phone calls. Okay, but yeah, no, if you have the XP900Ns still, I mean, and they're treating you well, you're all right with them. But if you want to upgrade to something, the ULT Wears, they're a worthy upgrade. And plus, like I said, they're gonna block out more noise as well. Okay. Oh man, I'm kind of tired. So we've been here for an hour and a half. We got any more questions before we head out? Because again, I want to let as many people know that if you're looking for a pair of headphones, get yourself the XM4s while you can, the Sony 1000 XM4s while you can. You know, like even though they're almost 5 years old now, the active noise cancellation on them really holds up. And thanks to that atmospheric pressure sensor on them, they're going to block out more noise than the Bose QC Ultras, Bose QCs, AirPod Max, and Sennheiser Momentum 4s while at cruising altitude. And personally, I do prefer the body on the XM4s over the XM5s because I find the XM4s to be more comfortable than the XM5s, and I prefer the smaller case on the XM4s over the XM5s, which I feel is super important for traveling. Okay, if you had to buy one, would you rather the JBL Party Box 710 or the Party Box 320? Now, with the Party Box 710, it's going to get louder and it's going to have a lot more bass than the Party Box 320. However, the Party Box 710 does not have a built-in battery. When I first got that speaker, I thought, oh, it has a built-in battery. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, it doesn't. And a lot of people also assume that the 710 had a built-in battery. But no, the 710 does not have a built-in battery. So, you know, like it's good to, you know, if you're going to be able to have it plugged in, great. But if you want something to take on the go with you, you do want to go with the 320. And plus with the 320, not only does it have a built-in battery, you can also easily swap that battery out. And you can get extra batteries for $100. So that's either going to prolong the overall length of your investment, or you can get multiple batteries, and when you take it to a party and you're going to go somewhere, instead of having to plug it in, you can just swap out the batteries, keep the party going. And then also there's the size. The 320 is a lot easier to carry around than the 710. With the 320, you can easily by yourself take it to the car, take it up and down stairs. It's a one-man job. Whereas with the 710 is like twice as big as the 320. Now, yeah, if you're a big, strong guy, you can carry the 710 up and down walls and put it in your car by yourself. But if you want to do it without scratching the walls in your house, if you want to do it without scratching your car's bumper lid, if you want to transport your 710 around without scratching your 710 up, then it is going to be a two-man job. That's at least how I feel. Now, if you were to get the Party Box 710 today for $550 because it's on sale, and we are, you know, trying to let people know about all of the sales on Party Boxes as well, because JBL is really pushing their Party Boxes. If you get the Party Box 710 today for $550, it's a solid deal, whereas the Party Box 320, it's on sale for $400. But if you get the Party Box 710 today, I'm expecting to see the Party Box 720 to get announced at CES 2025, or it's going to get announced soon. And with the Party Box 720, I don't expect it to have a built-in battery, just because it takes a very big battery to power a speaker of that size. However, I do expect the Party Box 720 to have an extra pair of mid-range drivers like the Party Box Ultimate. So, because like the 710 right now has your dual woofers and it has your dual tweeters. So with the 720, I am expecting them to add a pair of mid-range drivers. So it's going to be your 2 woofers, your 2 tweeters, and then the new mid-range drivers. And that's going to help with overall instrument separation. And design-wise, the 710 is probably going to look more similar to the Ultimate. What I really want to see on the 720 is floor lights, like with the Ultimate. But again, it comes down to what your needs are. If you need a very big speaker for like your man cave, you want to go with the 710. But if you want something to take on the go with you, you want to get the Party Box 320. And regardless, the Party Box 320 is going to do a great job of, like filling a large space with music. I mean, like the 320 is the main speaker that I use whenever I'm having get-togethers in the backyard and whatever. I mean, like, and the 320, it doesn't not deliver, if that makes sense. Okay. What about a Sony? So Chris Lopez is asking about what about a Sony soundbar. So if you're looking for a mid-size soundbar, the thing about the Sony S2000 is it doesn't sound as open as the Bose Smart Soundbar, and this is a video that we did recently. But what the Sony S2000 has going for it is that it does get louder and it has more bass than the Bose Smart Soundbar. So if you're looking for that, it's good. But if you want better instrument separation, then you might want to go with the Bose Smart Soundbar, because the Bose Smart Soundbar does have those upward firing drivers, so you're going to have true Dolby Atmos support. So that's if you're asking for mid-size soundbars. If you're asking about a larger soundbar, the biggest difference between Sony's current generation of large soundbars, and they have the Bar 8 and they have the Bar 9. I'm not going to include the Theater Quad here, because the Theater Quad, it costs twice as much and is a completely different setup. But if you were to compare the Bar 8 and the Bar 9 to their predecessors, either the A3000, the A5000, or the A7000, then the major difference is going to be the instrument separation. Both the new Bar 8 and Bar 9, they have much better instrument separation than Sony's last generation of soundbars, and they're also much more compact than Sony's last generation of soundbars. However, they don't get as loud or they don't have as much bass as either the A5000 or A7000. But they still get loud enough. They get more than loud enough. But the main thing is they have better instrument separation. Now, if you're trying to choose between the Bar 8 and the Bar 9, the Bar 9 has much better instrument separation than the Bar 8, specifically with the Bar 9. The Bar 9 does have dual beam-forming tweeters that shoot out the sides. And I mentioned it in the video, and I know it sounds like marketing fluff, but with a Bar 9, it does sound like there are speakers behind you when there aren't any speakers behind you. It's actually pretty trippy. And then also with the Bar 9, it has built-in passive radiators, so it's going to have more physicality in its bass than the Bar 8. And, like I've also mentioned in past videos, either soundbars or TVs, if you're looking for a soundbar for your TV, I do feel that you should first look at your first-party options. So in this case, if you have a Sony TV that has acoustic center sync, either the Sony Bravia 7, 8, or 9, or the Sony X90L, or any of Sony's previous TVs that have acoustic center sync, I always recommend that you try to look at your first-party options, because then that way you can use acoustic center sync, so your TV's built-in speakers, they're going to work in conjunction with your soundbar. So you're gonna have a better instrument you're gonna have a stronger center channel, and that's going to be good for a dialogue, okay? Because your TV's built-in speakers are working with your soundbar. Whereas if you were to go with, because like I said, in my home theater I have a Bravia 8 TV. So if theoretically, if I were to go with the Sonos Arc Ultra, I'm not going to be able to use acoustic center sync. So my TV's built-in speakers, they're going to go to waste. And this isn't just the case with Sony's TVs and soundbars. Samsung does the same thing with their TVs and soundbars. LG does the same thing with their TVs and soundbars. So always look at your first party options first, because you're going to be able to use your TV's built-in speakers. And then plus, whether you're using Sony, LG, or Samsung, you're going to be able to like change your audio settings directly from the TV yourself. Whereas with either Sonos's soundbars or Bose's soundbars, you're gonna have to go into your phone's app to adjust your soundbar's sound, which just isn't as convenient. And like having to interact with Sonos's app versus Bose's app is a lot harder, because Sonos's app is a lot more cluttered than Bose's app. So yeah, but even if you're not using a Sony TV and you're considering a Sony Bar 8 or a Sony Bar 9, both of those are going to have better instrument separation than Sony's last generation of soundbars, either the A3000, A5000, or A7000. However, those last generation of soundbars are going to have more bass, and they're going to get louder than either the Bar 8 or the Bar 9. And now you're asking, Chris, which has a more bass, Sony or JBL? Now, if we're talking about a mid-size soundbar, because we also did this video recently, the S2000 had way more bass and got way louder than the JBL Bar 300. But just keep in mind, the JBL Bar 300 is a self-contained soundbar. So there is no external subwoofer, because the Bar 300 makes its own bass. However, if you were to go with the JBL Bar 500 or the Bar 700 or so on, and these are all videos that we've done in the past, they come included with an external subwoofer. Now, if you have an external subwoofer, then yeah, the external subwoofer is going to produce a lot more bass than any of these self-contained soundbars. However, and again, I try to emphasize this on the videos, having an external subwoofer might not be for everybody, because maybe you don't have the room for an external subwoofer, and or maybe you live in an apartment and like you don't want to be that noisy neighbor that like you're going to watch a movie and then you're going to get complaints for your neighbors because the bass is gone. So that's why you don't want an external subwoofer. But if we're looking at the JBL Bar 300 versus the Sony S2000, then yeah, the Sony S2000 is going to have more bass and is going to get louder than the JBL Bar 300. Or if we're looking at the larger competitors, if we're looking at, let's say, for example, a JBL Bar 500, which comes included with an external subwoofer, versus a Sony Bar 8, the JBL Bar 500 is going to have a lot more bass than the Sony Bar 8, because the Bar 500 has that external subwoofer, whereas the Bar 8 makes its own subwoofer, makes its own bass, because it doesn't have an external subwoofer. So you're going to have, but the thing about Sony's soundbars is that you can add an external subwoofer if you want, but then that's sold separately. I mean, like, it all comes down to like what your setup is, what your needs are. But if you're looking for that mid-size soundbar with no external subwoofer, then you do want to go with the Sony S2000. If you're looking at the JBL Bar 500, then yeah, it's going to have more bass than the Bar 800. I mean the Bar 8, the Sony Bar 8, because it has that external subwoofer. But do you have the space for the external subwoofer? And also, one of the things about JBL's soundbars, the Bar 500, the Bar 500 specifically, is that it doesn't have as good instrument separation as either the Sony Bar 8 or the Sony Bar 9, okay? All right, so Always golden. Ah, dude, it should have been here like 15 minutes ago. Like we basically did a whole rant on the Sony XM4s versus the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. Basically, the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, they're decent, but I would recommend the Sony XM4s over the Momentum 4s because the XM4s, these are more comfortable, they're lighter, their ear cups stay cooler for longer, they have less clamping force, they have more padding on their headband, and these block out more noise than the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, either at ground level and especially at flying, because the XM4s have atmospheric pressure sensors in them, very similar to the XM5s. So once you're at cruising altitude and you calibrate them, they are going to block out more noise than the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. And we have done these videos in the past. You can actually go into the channel and you can look for airplane ANC test, and you're going to see those ANC tests where we test them while at cruising altitude. And then also the XM4s, since these do have a collapsible design, right, you see, these have a collapsible design, these do have a smaller case than the XM4s, so it's going to be easier for traveling, whereas the Momentum 4s, these have a lay flat design, so they are going to have a larger case than the XM4s. Not only is the surface area larger, but it's also much thicker. And then also, you know, the Momentum 4s just aren't as comfortable as the Sony 1000 XM4s. But what the Momentum 4s do very well is they sound much better than the Sony XM4s, and they also have a much longer lasting battery life than the Sony 1000 XM4s. But as an overall package, if I had to pick one over the other, I would recommend the Sony 1000 XM4s over the Sennheiser Momentum 4s because they're more comfortable, they block out more noise, they have a smaller case, and plus they're $20 cheaper. Okay, so I would recommend the Sony 1000 XM4s over the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. Okay. Okay, do you know of a stereo speaker that is like the JBL Flip 6 in weight and portability? The Flip 6 is mono. At that size, you know, having a mono speaker or a stereo speaker, I don't think it's a huge deal, honestly, at that size. You know, like, once we get to like the Extreme 4 or like the Boombox 4 size, the Boombox 3 size, or the Sony ULT 7 size and above, yeah, having a stereo speaker is going to be better than having a mono speaker. But if you're looking at a small speaker like the Flip 6, I don't think mono sound is a huge deal. The important thing with either the Flip 6 or the ULT 1 is that, yeah, they're mono, but they have a woofer and a tweeter setup. So they're going to have much better instrument separation than a stereo speaker that might have two woofers instead of the one woofer on either the JBL Flip 6 or the Sony ULT 1. So I would actually recommend either the JBL Flip 6 or the Sony ULT 1 over any other random stereo speaker of that size because they're going to have better instrument separation. And if you're trying to choose between the JBL Flip 6 or the Sony ULT 1, personally I do recommend the Sony ULT 1 over the JBL Flip 6 because with the Sony ULT 1 it does get louder and it has more bass than the JBL Flip 6. I think you're just over, you know, like you're stressing too much over the Flip 6 being mono. It's fine. Like, just get yourself, like, it's actually not, it's not the end of the world like a lot of people think. Because since the Flip 6 and the ULT 1, they have that woofer and that tweeter setup, they have better instrument separation. They sound more open than a stereo speaker that might have two front-firing woofers instead of one front-firing woofer like the Flip 6. But they have that tweeter, which is something that other speaker might not have. And so the tweeter handles the highs and then the woofer handles the mids. and that's what gives you the better instrument separation. So don't worry about your small speaker being stereo or mono. Like ultimately what you want is better sound quality, and the Flip 6 or the ULT Field 1 are going to give you better sound quality, and I do feel the ULT Field 1 is going to be better than the Flip 6. Okay, any more questions? Because we've been here for 2 hours now. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and leave it at that. Again, this has been your public service announcement. Yeah, hold on, wait, David. Thanks for answering my question. I'm looking for a small traveling speaker that's good for the desk, the shower, and on the go. I prefer stereo. Do you know of such a speaker? Do just get yourself a Sony ULT Field 1. You won't regret it. Sony ULT Field 1. All right, so yeah, but this has been your public service announcement. If you're looking for a pair of headphones, get yourself the Sony 1000 XM4s while you can. Even though they're almost 5 years old now, their ANC still keeps up thanks to the atmospheric pressure sensor in them. They also have, I need merch, remember the XM4s. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble with Sony. But yeah, if you're looking for headphones, get yourself the Sony 1000 XM4s. They offer you a really overall solid package. If you want a large portable speaker for the summer, get yourself the Sony ULT Field 1, which is currently on sale for $350. It's a solid pickup. It sounds better than the Boombox 4. It gets louder. It has more bass. Plus, it has that 1/4-inch input, so you can plug in a microphone for karaoke. Solid pickup. If you need a large portable box speaker, either for the summer or for like your house parties or whatever, Party Box 320 is a solid pickup at $400 as well. All right. I noticed that the Sony 1000 XM4s and the Bose Quiet Comfort are the same price right now. Is one worth getting over the other? I want headphones that are good daily drivers. Okay, Tyler, you should have been here like an hour ago. If you're trying to choose between the XM4s or the Bose QCs, the XM4s are going to give you better active noise cancellation. The XM4s are also going to give you more features. The XM4s have quick attention, so that's a really useful feature. So like when you're flying and the stewardess comes to you and then she wants to talk to you, instead of having to take your headphones off or like fiddle around with your controls, you just cover the touchpad. Now you can hear everything around you. You talk to them, you let go, headphones go back to normal again. And the XM4s have better battery life than the Bose QCs. So the overall better package, the overall better daily drivers, I do feel are going to be the XM4s. Oh, and also the XM4s have they have a better kick in their bass than the Bose QCs. However, the Bose QCs outshine the Sony 1000 XM4s by being a lot more comfortable. Their ear cups are a lot more spacious, their ear cups stay cooler for longer, and they're also a lot lighter. The Bose QCs weigh in at 230 grams, the Sony 1000 XM4s weigh in at like 254 grams, something like that. Both the Sony and Bose headphones, oh, excuse me, I have Turkey Day. Both the Bose QC and the Sony 1000 XM4s are very lightweight. However, the Bose QCs are lighter, so they're just more comfortable. So I would recommend, again, the Sony 1000 XM4s because you have more features and they block out more noise, especially at cruising altitude, thanks to the atmospheric pressure sensors. But if you want better comfort, then you do want to go with the Bose QCs. However, the Bose QCs don't have as many features, and the battery life on the Bose QC isn't as good as the battery on the Sony 1000 XM4s, okay? Well, all right, so Liquid, what's my whole thing about ear cups and whatnot? You know, I can just get third-party ear cups. Whenever I'm evaluating a product, I evaluate it as it comes in the box. Like this, you buy certain thing, this is what it comes with, this is what it's like. I feel that adding third-party accessories to your product is kind of like cheating. So I try to evaluate things as they come in the box. You get me? So like I'm aware that there are third party. I know, but it's so cheap, like $20 or $30, man. I mean, like I evaluate it by how it comes in the box. Like right now, we're trying to evaluate the Sony 1000 XM4s, which have an on sale price of $200, versus the Bose QCs, which also have an on sale price of $200, right? If I were to go, oh, the Sony 1000 XM4s, they're more comfortable than the Bose QCs. If you get these third-party ear cups, which are $20 or $30 more, you know, that's not fair to the Bose QCs. So, you know, I try to evaluate things as they come in the box. All right. So yeah, that's why. Okay, so I think we're good. Any more questions before I head out? Remember, take advantage of the deal. Get the Sony 1000 XM4s, Sony ULT 7, JBL Party Box 320. They're all solid pickups. And I think the Sony Pulse Elite. Look, what is? I think about the JBL Pulse 5. But yeah. All right, guys. So thanks for coming. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are taking advantage of the actual pretty good deals that we got going on. I'll see you guys later.